The unused gifts and talents were withdrawn from the man and given to the person who was faithful with many gifts.
You begin to defile your marriage bed because it is a common thing around you. A new plan, a new way, a new place, a new city, a new job. A star which is too hasty to shine forth will shine in the day and will never be seen. Yours sincerely, Mike Bamiloye. Good day, children of the Most High. I want to speak to you today about avoiding the processes and cutting the corners. Luke chapter 4, verse 9 to 12 reads, Then he brought him to Jerusalem and set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said to him, If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down from here. For it is written, He shall give His angels charge over you to keep you, and in their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your feet against a stone. And Jesus answered and said to him, It has been said, You shall not tempt the Lord your God. The more I studied the temptations of Jesus Christ, the more I got scared of the horrible intentions of the devil against every man and against every woman of destiny. He is the old serpent, cunning and crafty and satanically evil and deviously satanic. Let us forget about how Satan brought Jesus to Jerusalem and concentrate on a more important aspect of this temptation. He brought Jesus to Jerusalem, took him up to the pinnacle of the temple, and told him to jump down if you are the Son of God. Is this statement familiar to us? Are you guessing you might have come across this similar statement of taunting somewhere before? Yes. Satan did not take Jesus to Samaria. Neither did he take him to Bethany, to Decapolis, or any other cities in Judea, but straight to Jerusalem. The ministry had not started. He was just rounding off the fasting and prayers that was to commence the ministry. He had just been baptized by John before being led into the wilderness for the fasting and prayers and the accompanying temptations. So the ministry was just about to start. But Satan took him to Jerusalem to go there and die. He had not ministered to any soul. He had not cast out any devils. He had not healed the sick. And he has not raised any dead. But Satan took him to Jerusalem to go and die there, ever before the commencement of his ministry. So, many scriptures had not yet been fulfilled. Luke chapter 18 verse 31 to 33 says, Then he took the 12 aside and said to them, Behold, we are going up to Jerusalem, and all things that are written by the prophet concerning the Son of Man will be accomplished. Verse 32 says, For he will be delivered to the Gentiles, and will be mocked and insulted and spit upon. They will scourge him and kill him, and the third day he will rise again. That was what was prophesied. He was to raise his disciples in Galilee, He was to commission them to go and preach the gospel. He was to groom them for 3.5 years. He was to hand over to them the work of the evangelization. They were to continue from where he would stop. So many prophecies of the prophets were to be fulfilled during his short-term physical ministry. Yet, the devil wanted to fast forward the tape and edit the script of his life and ministry and bring him to the point of death, omitting several sins and plots of uttermost significance. May God deliver us from the devil. He was to be betrayed by one of his disciples. That was already written in the scripts of life. He was to be delivered to the Gentiles, mocked and scourged and spit upon and insulted according to the written scripts of prophecies. Isaiah chapter 53 verse 5 says, "But he was wounded for our transgression. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed." But Satan wanted him to jump down from the pinnacle and die without fulfilling all those scriptures. How could we have gotten our healing if there was no Roman stripes that fell on his back? By his stripes we are healed. But the devil wanted to kill him ever before the Roman soldiers got to him, so that he will all be in perpetual sickness, infirmity, and afflictions forever. So many wonderful incidents would never have taken place at all. The madman of Gadarene, the raising up of Lazarus from the dead, the turning of water to wine, the feeding of the multitude with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes, the walking upon the seas of Galilee, the several examples of love, compassion, and endurance, the healings of the multitude would never have taken place at all. Satan wanted Jesus to commit suicide and die ever before he began his ministry. And now the real thing. In Luke chapter 24, verse 46 and 47. Then he said to them, "Thus it is written, and thus it was necessary for the Christ to suffer and to rise from the dead the 3rd day. And that repentance and remittance of sins should be preached in his name to all nations, beginning at Jerusalem." The death on the cross of Calvary and the resurrection from the dead on the 3rd day was necessary. That was what the devil actually wanted to derail. He never wanted Jesus to die on the cross. His death on the cross spelled doom for the kingdom of darkness. Desperately, they wanted to avoid this. So, right from the start, they plotted his death. His resurrection from the grave was the fantastic victory of the whole of heaven and over the vast region of hell. They never wanted this to happen because only his death on the cross could take him to the grave to complete the work of redemption. Finally, let us consider this. Luke chapter 4 verse 9. Then he brought him to Jerusalem, set him on the pinnacle of the temple, and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down from here." Compare it to this. Mark chapter 15 verse 29 to 32. And those who passed by blasphemed him, wagging their heads and saying, "Aha! You who destroyed the temple and built in 3 days, save yourself, come down from the cross." Likewise, the chief priests also, mocking among themselves with the scribes, said, "He saved others, himself he cannot save. Let the Christ, the King of Israel, descend now from the cross, that we may see and believe. Even those who are crucified with him reviled him. Now, can you hear the people, including the chief priest, re-echoing the voice of the devil, saying exactly the thing Satan said to Jesus at the beginning? Were they not reading their scripts? They never wanted Jesus to die on the cross for us. They never wanted the resurrection of Jesus to take place. They even sealed the grave. But on the third day, he broke the backbone of Satan. He broke the seal of the grave. He arose. He resurrected us for our justification. Satan failed in all his endeavors. He failed in all his plans. Beloved, if Jesus Christ had jumped down from the pinnacle of the temple of Jerusalem, he would never have gone to the cross to die for us. And how could he have mounted the seats of glory in heaven far above principalities and powers? How could we have ever dreamt of sitting with him in his glory later in eternity? Beware of trying to achieve in a hurry what the Lord wanted you to achieve in stages of a process. Beware of cutting the corners and trying to avoid the pains and the agonies of this Christian life. 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 5. But you be watchful in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, fulfill your ministry. And in 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 17, it says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, is working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. You want to fulfill the purpose of God in your life, but you never wanted to pass through all the processes. You wanted to die in Jerusalem without fulfilling all the scriptures. You want to wear the crown of glory without wearing the crown of thorns. You want to wear the robe of glory on the body, which have not been torn with the lashes and the stripes of the Roman soldiers. You don't want your body to be battered, scorched, and dragged on the ground. Yet, you want to be exalted far above the principalities. No cross, no crown. You hate the suffering of the cross. You enjoy the glamour of the world. Yet, you are a child of God. That amounts to committing spiritual suicide. Beware of all these sweet tongues preachings that declare peace, peace, when you know you are not in peace with your God. Beware of all these bread and butter sermons that fails to rebuke your sinful lives and careless living. You are chosen to commit spiritual suicide on the pinnacle of the temple instead of carrying your cross to Golgotha yourself to be crucified with Christ. Beware of sermons that make you comfortable in your sinful lives and make heaven look more meaningless to you again. That is jumping down from the pinnacle of the temple in the holy cities of Jerusalem. You don't want to suffer in the ministry, yet you want to be great in the work of God. It means you want to die in Jerusalem without walking through all the processes of healing people, preaching to the masses, crossing the sea to go and heal a madman, healing, delivering multitude from the bondage of the devil. You never wanted to raise any disciples to continue the work. You just want to go to Jerusalem and die anyhow, to experience the glorious resurrection. No cutting corners, no avoiding of processes. May I patiently walk through the process to my place of glory. May you never cut the corners that will lead you to cutting relevance. in his end time agenda. Thanks for listening. I am yours sincerely, Mike Bamiloye.